gonna have a class like that, this, let's face it, it's not the most exciting class, it's a little boring. If you want somebody to liven it up for you, bring some life to it, some passion to it.
Okay, brother.
You got the right guy here.
Okay, no pressure.
Y'all enjoy it, have fun.
About 5 more minutes, just waiting to see if anybody else is gonna be coming this way, so. Like I said, I have handouts on the tables if you might be interested.
Changes a lot.
Most of them want to do it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will nowadays either. Have to have it.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting how some of the rules change. The danger zone temperatures changed last year.
Oh, really?
It was where you could have it from 40 to 140, now it's like 40 to 145 or something like that.
Well, I'm good for fighting for 4 more years.
Yeah. Change all the rules.
Yeah.
Start forgetting this thing to go back That's right.
Waiting on one brother to come back from the bathroom, the restroom, so we starting up in a few minutes, all right? Everybody's having a good time, having a blast, a lot of information, informative. Ladies, how y'all doing? I don't even know if I met you all.
No, we're seeing you, but we haven't met you.
Whereabouts are you all?
I'm Star.
Okay, 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 all right.
Look, she had to turn around and look at me.
You're both from Texas and from the same area?
New York, by New York.
Okay. Why don't we start out by, like I said, we're waiting on another brother, so before we start the class, why don't we just go around and kind of introduce ourselves if we can do that. Is that fine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll start with you ladies.
My name is Shirley Story. I'm with the Church Without Walls of Pastor West. My pastor.
Okay.
This is my first time here.
All right. God bless. Yes, ma'am.
And my name is Betty Houston. I'm from the Church Without Walls, same church, Bradford, West.
Okay. All right, brother, we'll come to you. We're just kind of sharing who we are and where we're from.
Just walking in.
And you are?
Wayne Lake,
Okay, from?
Houston, Sagemont Church.
Okay.
Barney, Paradise, Gateway Church,
Okay.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
All right. And you, sister?
Janie Walker, Midlothian, Texas, which is south of Dallas.
Okay.
First Baptist Church, Midlothian.
Awesome.
Heather Brewer, Northside Baptist Church in Panama City, Florida.
Okay.
Angela McCoy, chef, food director at First United Methodist in Dillon, Texas.
Okay. Brother?
Andrew Spasek, married at Georgia, Johnson Ferry Baptist Church.
Okay. And your sister?
Sanjanetta Houston, Birmingham, Alabama, Faith Chapel Christian Center.
And I'm Herb Small, First Baptist Naples in Naples, Florida. And I'll be your instructor for the day. We'll be doing this together. And our topic is food safety and sanitation. And Is everybody in here? Well, you know what, I think he's supposed to be. That's not another class, is
It's
it?
another class. Here, you might be stepping right
Son
in.
wanted to,
Start the camera?
yeah,
He might have already done it.
I was thinking he did.
Looks like it's going.
Did everybody, in here, have everybody in here taken their food safety, class yet, course yet? Okay, so it's just pretty much just like a follow-up on the food safety and sanitation. Well, we'll get started. In reference to what we do, why do we do what we do? Okay, in food service, come right into it. In reference to ministry, we know that we do it to the glory of God. First of all, we do it in the ministry. But in reference to information that we're going to be getting today, there's forums, there's articles that the GACHP offers to help up with some of the questions that's going to come up in reference to our food service and safety. It's our responsibility as spearheaders and leaders and department heads to know the information that I'm going to share with you today. And so, as far as the food service and sanitation goes, there's codes in place. We're to know the codes, we're to understand the codes, and our job is to train the codes. And upon training the codes, then we're supposed to expect that in return from our workers and from our volunteers. Why the fuss? Why is it such a big deal? Because annually there are 76 million cases of foodborne illnesses. It's a serious business. For those of us, once we review this information and I share with you what happens and what can happen, you're gonna probably say, wow, it's just by the grace of God that I haven't had an incident that happened, because it's real simple. I mean, when we figure all the ways that disease can be transmitted, you're gonna see that it's just by the grace of God that something hasn't happened, because it's so serious. The things that we take for granted, it's so serious, and you're gonna see that there's a whole lot can come out of taking it for granted. There's statistics say that there's 325,000 cases involved where people have been hospitalized from food safety and sanitation. There's 5,000 cases resulted in deaths. People can actually die from it, and most of the deaths that come out of it is from either kids or elder people with weak weak immune systems they get, and so that's where the deaths comes out of it. And there's statistics tells us that there's $2.7 billion in losses because of it. But why me? Why is it important to us? First of all, if we're serving in a church, it's because it's our church. It should be a great concern for us. We should care. As Christians, it should be dear to our heart and the concern for others. It's our congregation in most churches, in most cases, if it's a church. And then it's your family. It's your family that can suffer because of it. And not only that, it's your reputation. Your reputation is on the line because of it. I'll just share an incident where a reputation was put on the line, and a workplace. It wasn't a Christian type environment, but when I was in the secular world, and I won't say secular world, I just compare it to those secular versus ministry, because it wasn't for a church. We had a real high-end 5-star restaurant that I was working at, and we had a case, which you'll see later in the slide, where that I can compare and show you instances from it. And we had a person that gets sick and pretty much put that restaurant out of business. And I'll show you later in the slide what caused it. So with all those things in place, that makes it our responsibility. It makes your responsibility, whether you're a spearheader, whether you're a leader, whether you're the top chef, whether you're the director, and if not any of those positions, if you're in the workplace, if you work there, it's your responsibility. Don't allow your church or your workplace to become a statistic. Okay, in the secular world, as I was just telling you before, you lose customers and you lose sales. Once the word get out that somebody got sick from your restaurant, had a bad experience, the word get out, customers will not come anymore. So you lose customers and you lose sales. Your reputation and your prestige gets soiled because of it. Lawsuits resulting in costs of lawyers and court cases can come out of it. It's just like having a car wreck. When you face one of these incidents and have it happen, your premiums, insurance goes up because of it. Your employee morale gets affected. You get a bad reputation, now nobody wants to work for you because they don't want to be a part of that. And then your absenteeism of your employees and your volunteers becomes a big issue because nobody wants to be a part of it. So people will not only won't want to work for you, volunteers won't want to have any part of your establishment or your serving because of the embarrassment of it. Okay, and the training part of it, you'll find out now that health agencies and stuff like that are offering training, and as I shared with you before, the association here also offers forums online. Some of the other chefs and some of the other professionals involved within this within this ministry are really willing and open to share with you ways and means how you can prevent this from happening. The Safe Serve exam is vital. The only thing about the Safe Serve exam, the information that you receive on that and receive in flyers and that type of stuff, the only way that it works and the only way that it prevents these things from happening is if you practice it. That's the only way that it happens. We need to make sure that we take advantage of these training needs, and we need to certainly make sure that everyone within our establishment and within our kitchen knows the seriousness of this issue. Show, tell, and involve. We get them interested by showing them how to do the task. That's the job. When we bring a person aboard, the first thing we do is we have to show them how to do the job. Most of the establishments, do most of you have gloves? Insist that people wear gloves? Is it also said within the establishment that your management or that your spearheaders don't care how many of them that you go through? Use as many of them as you need. What about hairnets and hats? Is that mandatory in most of the establishments as well? Okay. Okay, inspect what you expect. The old saying that still holds true in the food service now. If you see somebody practicing unsafe practices, if you see someone within, probably the biggest problem that we'll have in it is with our volunteers, wouldn't you say? I mean, how do you tell people and how you make people understand that it's serious business, or that it's important, that it's a law, that, you know, they gotta make sure they wash their hands on a regular basis, and make sure they wear head coverings, and make sure they wear gloves. So I think probably one of the biggest problems that we have, I know certainly one of the biggest problems that I have, is when I have volunteers come in with so considerate and so concerned about not hurting their feelings. We tend to not make the main thing, or not really correct them when we see them doing wrong. But regardless who it is, we need to have regulations, rules and regulations in place, and we need to let them know what we expect of them if they're gonna be volunteering and helping, because we are responsible. We don't be the ones held responsible if anything happens. Okay, and this is just information for you. As I mentioned earlier, I passed out some handouts there for you. The GACHP has a website, has posters, pretty self-explanatory information. You could call if there's somebody you need to speak to in reference to information about it. They'd be more than glad to share it with you as well. When and how to wash your hands should be pretty self-explanatory about washing your hands, but per code and per regulations, it said that it shows that there's a specific way that you wash your hands. But number one, the whole process should take approximately 20 minutes, they say, and you know, almost nobody ever follows the not 20 minutes, excuse me, 20 seconds.
Come on, man.
How many happy birthdays did I? How many happy birthdays? I tell you to sing that song.
And they on my time.
Yeah, okay.
Clock out, watch your hands.
20 seconds, you know, and it's just, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Does everybody pretty much have posters in place? Because I think that's so important, especially when your staff is not trained, and your staff is not from a professional establishment that enforces rules and regulations, which is compared to hotels and country clubs and that stuff basis volunteers and persons within the church. I think it's more enforced, and you see more people following the rules and regulations, where you got a chef and you got a sous chef, where you have, and the disadvantage with us in the church is that, like in my case, for instance, with the exception of my part-time help, everything that my help know is how I lead and how I teach, because being a church, we're limited in what we can pay for professional help, and we just can't afford to do it. So most of my help don't have a lot of background experience as far as a restaurant goes, and they just don't know. So not only do I have to make sure that I share with them what they need to know, I need to lead by example. And if you was to see what's happening in the culinary field going forward in today's, it'll blow you away. I'm a member of the American Culinary Federation, which has a convention every year, and which holds competitions. And 3 years ago, when I went to the national convention, I was blown away, because during the competition, the chef's competition, they didn't have gloves. And what they've done now, they've almost eliminated the use of gloves, and rather than grade you on the fact of whether or not you have gloves on, they grade you on how you keep on keeping your hands clean, how regularly you wash them. And when you're in that type setting, if you're competing, usually there's a sink right there, so you're pretty much almost programmed to wash your hands right after use. I think it's a bad practice. I think it's bad for something that they've done away with. Chef, anybody like to
You're right.
respond in reference to
You're
it?
right. And they want you to keep your area they have sanitation right there, and like you said, you wasting more time washing your hands.
Right.
You should be, I agree with you.
Yeah, and so